Hey, it's Benji Cole, son of Al Cole from CBS Radio and host of the syndicated talk show, People of Distinction. The talk that gives you an in-depth view of some of the most dynamic, intelligent, and successful people on the planet. Run to our website, alcoleenterprises.com for more info. Email me through benji@alcoleenterprises.com if you'd like to get involved with what we have going. And as always, please continue to like and follow our broadcasts. People of Distinction is internationally syndicated solely due to the love and support that you all continue to give. We're available across all major distributors, and as long as you keep following, we're going to continue to put out the content. Now sit back and strap in, because on the line with us today, we have the impressive Ric Altman. Now we're going to be discussing his memoir, 18 Tons in 92 Hours and 175 Other Clouds of Dust. Now, you're going to want to check out the second edition, the latest and greatest. Head on over to Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and most importantly, RicAltman.com to do just that. And I quickly want to take this opportunity and point out the fact that Ric was brought to us by Studio of Books. So for writers out there listening in who have gone through their process, and now you need some assistance moving that masterpiece you just worked tirelessly to create, head on over to studioofbooks.org. and gather all the ways that their qualified team is more than equipped to move your creative endeavors. And listen, people, have you ever felt, man, like your life is hurtling off the rails in the best possible way? Our guest today, listen, man, Ric has written the manual, okay? His memoir, 18 Tons in 92 Hours, is a literary adrenaline shot, okay? It is a whirlwind tour through chaos to clarity and everything in between. It is an absolute magnificent page churner that you aren't going to be able to put down. Sit back, strap in, rest assured. We're going to scratch the surface here today, but it's going to be up to you to purchase the book to fill in the gaps. Ric, first and foremost, welcome to the network and thank you for being a guest. How you doing today, sir?
Thank you. I'm good.
Fantastic. Ric, listen, man, it's a pleasure to have you here. Just doing research, some of the things that we came across, man, if we didn't have you here to discuss it, we wouldn't have believed you. I'm glad we're about to have this discussion. Ric, I oftentimes like to start with learning a little bit more about the background of our guests, but this is a memoir, so the two are going to overlap anyway. Let's jump right into the book, man. 18 Tons in 92 Hours. Tell us a little bit more about it.
The title of the book refers to two separate incidences that both made national news. 18 tons refers to me getting caught with 18 tons of pot back in 1975.
Wow.
In the 92. Yeah, it was a Georgia record. It's still a Georgia record. But
put them in the Guinness Book, people. Here we go.
I mean, there was crooked sheriffs and all kinds of shenanigans going on. And we were bringing a shrimp boat full of Colombian marijuana back to States, 1975. And that, with the crooked sheriff, we got caught, and the sheriff got caught too. But the 92 hours refers to me and three friends being lost at sea for 4 days, or 92 hours, before we got found by the Coast Guard. We had nothing to eat, nothing to drink, and one of my friends died.
Wow.
From hypothermia, which is still, it's difficult for me to talk about even today. That was 40 years ago.
That is incredible. Okay, listen, Ric, the next logical question is inspiration here, because, listen, I'm very glad that you wrote the book, because now we get to partake, but obviously you didn't have to. So what inspired you to put the words to the page and put it out for the public?
I didn't speak about either of those incidences for about 30 years. And only about 15 years ago, I started telling people the stories. And at the end of the stories, these folks would all say, you need to write a book. So about 2 years ago, I wrote a book about those two stories, but it didn't seem to have enough bulk to it. So I started describing stories, funny stories that have happened to me, stories that people like to hear. And I did all that, and then I thought, man, this is to turn it into an autobiography, so I put all the bad stuff in it. It's not all peaches and cream.
Yeah.
I know a lot of it I'm not proud of, And after I finished, it actually sent me into a terrific depression. And then within a week or two of finishing, I read an article in the Atlantic that spoke about why you shouldn't write an autobiography because it'll send you into a terrific depression.
Ric, I think you're hitting on something that is a pivotal component here. And it's something that I recognized instantly when we were doing research and preparation for today's discussion. And yeah, it's a memoir, right? Like you said, it's an autobiography. We're going to learn about yourself and your background. We're going to learn about some pretty incredible stories, two of which we have already heard about through your articulating it to us. But now my follow-up is, it's interesting when we just think about life in general, right? Like your memoir finds humor at times in the chaos. And isn't that a great message for life? When we're going through some of our toughest moments, a lot of times, many of us, myself included, if I can find laughter, if I can find humor in it, that doesn't necessarily mean you're laughing at the circumstance. Obviously, there's a clear delineation, but you're able to utilize that as a way of finding strength to power through, right? Of maintaining a level-headed stance. So let's take that concept now and throw it back to you, man. Like when you were writing this, were there moments where laughing at the absurdity was the only thing that kept you from breaking?
Yeah, in fact, it did. It did break me in the end, but I've recovered from all that. But when you take a look at your life in a granular manner and have to think about and write everything down, it's difficult. There's one of the stories, one of the small stories, and that's what the 175 clouds of dust refers to. There's 175 other stories. But I wrote about being abused as a child, sexually abused.
Yeah.
And that stopped me. That stopped me cold writing for a month. I didn't write anything for a month. And the whole book took a year. I worked every day, all day on the thing for the year, except for that 1 month. Writing about some abuse that happened in your childhood, it's tough. I didn't realize that you could actually block things from your mind, but I was about 30 years old before I realized that this had actually happened. So that sent me off the edge, but I got started again after a few weeks of not writing and finished it up within a year. There's some really funny stories. The two big stories aren't what I'd call funny, but there were some light moments in them. I did want to say one thing, that I'm not a writer, but I'm fairly well read, and three of my favorite authors are Hemingway, Kurt Vonnegut, and Hunter Thompson. If you're familiar with those writers, that's how I structured the book.
People, I'm telling you, listen, man, you got to head on over to Amazon, Barnes & Noble, RicAltman.com. This is a book that you need to add to your shelf. And I'm going to say it again, like I mentioned it before in terms of just the humor in moments of absurdity, but really everything. Like, first and foremost, the vulnerability that Ric has shown by really spilling himself onto the page for us to now view, man, that takes bravery, first and foremost. So let's point that out. But also, similar to the comment that I made about humor, life is a roller coaster, right? There's going to be those dark moments that we want to sweep under the rug and forget about. There's going to be those high moments. There's going to be the just out of control, absurd moments. Like I have conversations now that I'm a father myself. I have conversations with a lot of my friends now because we're all at that age where technically my wife and I had kids much later in life than a lot of our peers, our counterparts. But we're getting up there and we're having these conversations about certain things that we did when we were younger, where we look back now as adults and we're like, my goodness, how am I alive? How did I make it to this point? And
that's a fact. Yeah.
And it's great because we all have stories like that. And life listen, there's wisdom that you gain through it. You go through those moments, but then looking back and reminiscing, certain moments are darker than others, but that is life. And that's part of the reason why I'm telling you, people, you got to add this to your shelf because it's much more than an entertaining read. There's a lot of education and wisdom that you're going to be able to take from it once you read in between the lines. And that's where I want to go next, Ric. As we begin to tie out here, man, For readers out there, when they pick up your book and they follow this through, what is a surprising piece of guidance that they might be able to extract from the book? Ric, I'm glad that she did, because listen, man, I think not to make this about entertainment, but to a certain degree it is, if it's only about the great stuff, that can become monotonous, right? That can become mundane to a certain degree. So having it makes it raw. It fully fleshes it out, in my opinion. And I know from a perspective of being on this side of the microphone, my job as the host here is to humanize my guests, if that makes sense. Everybody listening in right now, to a certain degree, they're going to put you on a pedestal and they're going to view you as something distant. But when you infuse these personal stories that, again, are relatable, like maybe, listen, not a lot of people have probably been caught with 18 tons of marijuana, but people have been caught with some stuff, right? So whether it's drugs, whether it's they got caught cheating or whatever, like copy and paste your particular experience, people. But I promise you, you can relate, right? There's, on the spectrum of things, man, it varies, but it's human.
It's really cathartic to write that.
Yeah.
The story about being lost at sea for those 4 days, like I say, it's even hard to tell today.
I bet. But listen, we thank you for sharing it. And people, like I mentioned, we've barely scratched the surface. There is a lot left to uncover. So I'm going to say it one last time. Amazon, Barnes & Noble, RicAltman.com. The book is entitled 18 Tons in 92 Hours and 175 Other Clouds of Dust. But most importantly, make sure you're getting the second edition. You want to get the one that was released in 2025. That's going to be the latest and greatest. It's packed with more stories that you're going to be able to gravitate towards. And trust me when I tell you, man, like this was just a conversation, right? This was just a preview of what's in the book. Imagine the full ride. Head on over, pick up your copies, man, and prepare to be left both breathless and begging for more, because this book has a lot to offer. Ric, this has been a true pleasure. I really do mean that, man. Thank you once again for being a guest on People of Distinction.
Thank you.